we're going to switch gears a little bit and talk a little fantasy action here. We touched base on quarterbacks earlier in the week. We're in touch base now on wide receivers. There's some top 10 wide receivers. First of all, fantasy 5 years ago, 10 years ago, when you're drafting running back, not the case now. It's more wide receiver heavy leagues.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on that? And as far as top tier guys and all that stuff.
Well, first of all, you're right. Like this is now you used to draft running back first and second round a lot of times. Now you're more drafting running back fifth, sixth, seventh round after you've already basically got your 2 quarterbacks, your 4 receivers. Yeah. Then you're like, hey, we'll just go get a bunch of guys and we hope we kind of hit lightning in a bottle. And that's because the running backs, most of them share carries now. 2-3 running backs, they do it by and there's so many get injured. But the way I want to look at the receivers this year is there's really 3 tiers. There's the top tier, and I think it's pretty set in stone. Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, Jamar Chase. Those 4 guys, jumble them up, throw them in a pill bottle, and pick whichever one you want. All those guys are going to be elite. Who has a better?
I don't think you can miss on any of those guys.
Other than injuries, I just don't see any of those guys not having good years. And Tyreek Hill is maybe that next guy that you could throw in there as the 5th. But the problem with Tyreek Hill, we just don't know what we're going to get with Tua there. So I would say then that next tier would be Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, Brown, AJ Brown, that is, Deebo Samuel, CeeDee Lamb, and then I like you could either throw Keon Allen or Deontay Johnson. I think those next 5 or 6 are in kind of that second tier. And then after that, I mean, it's kind of the wild, wild west. You could see rookies, unproven guys that can really step up and make a difference in your fantasy football team.
I do like a couple of the younger guys. I mean, you mentioned Jamar Chase. I like Jalen Waddle. I think he could make a vast impact on that team. Yep. Keenan Allen, you'd mentioned him. I think he's becoming up there in age, so maybe more a possession guy, like you mentioned earlier. So people like that. I do like this guy from the Chargers, Joshua Palmer, and I have not a lot of reasons why. I like the Chargers on paper. I mentioned this on one of the other Power Hours. On paper, the Chargers are arguably the best team in the NFL, top to bottom. Yep. On paper. Now, when they play the games, I don't know. Coaching staff maybe has issues there, but I like Joshua Palmer out of there. I also I know this is going to be a homer play, Amon-Ra, I'm not saying his name right, St. Brown from the Lions. Second-year receiver. And if you watch Hard Knocks at all, it's hard not to like this guy. Yep. Last night, he went, I think, 5th or 6th, 17th wide receiver in the league, in the draft in 2021. He listed, like he was listing off his address or his date of birth, like second fiddle, like just boom. He listed all 16 wide receivers that went before him, what school they played for, and where they went. And he said, it's not a problem. I understand. I'm not the number 1 guy. Like, I'm not Jamar Chase, but I'm to tell you right now, a guy like that with a chip on his shoulder, you want him to have the ball. And he's just a guy I think could break that top 10 guy. But this wide receiver group is deep.
Wow.
Very, very deep.
And you're not called Detroit Lenny for nothing. I mean,
I own shares in the Lions now. I mean, I could call the Ford family now.
Hey, I think there's 2 guys, 2 Michaels out there. Remember Michael Thomas? Does anyone ring a bell? Probably best receiver in the league. I mean, 2 years back, and because of injury, now obviously Jameis Winston's throwing to him. He has a big arm. If Michael Thompson's healthy and returns to those form, I think you're going to be able to get him in drafts because people haven't seen him, kind of forgot about him. I also think Mike Williams for the Chargers, he's their big play depth threat. Like you said, Keenan Allen, he's going to probably get you 80 to 95 catches. He's very dependable, great hands. Yeah. But the 2 Mikes, I think, could be guys that you get in 3rd, 4th, 5th rounds that could put up number 1 type numbers, top 10 receiver type numbers this year. And that's what you're always looking for. Later in the draft, like I said, you have those top 2 tiers. Those you can't go wrong with. You kind of draft your first couple rounds if you're going for a receiver. Mm-hmm. Then when you're going 4th, 5th round to pick out your number 3, number 4 guys, you're trying to hit a home run with a guy that can be a top 10 points guy in your league. And I think those are the type of guys that can do it. A guy that
even Juju Juju Schuster or Schmister, however you say his name now, being with the Chiefs now, and kind of, I think there's another guy. I mean, I don't know. I've had really good luck with him in the past in fantasy, but obviously he switches teams. We'll see how he kind of gels with all of that. So, I kind of like that.
Well, there's a ton of guys like, I mean, like I said, it's a wide receiver league. We throw the ball so much more than we used to. It's not easy. It's not hard to get good quality late in your draft as fantasy drafts when you're looking at, guys that are going to be number 1 or number 2 options on these teams, but they're still going to be available to you in the 4th, 5th, 6th round. So that's a few guys to look for. Like, to me, hey, I'm a homer when it comes to fantasy football. Not when I'm betting as a handicapper, but as fantasy football, I'm going to be trying to get Chase or Higgins because I love Joe. I'm going to try to get Burrow, and then I love to have the receiver quarterback combo. And if I can get Jamar, that would be number 1, and then of course Burrow as with him. But if not, I'm going to try to get T. Higgins. I think he's going to have another big year for the Bengals too.
Fair enough. I appreciate all the info. Craig Trapp dropping knowledge on you folks, fantasy-wise, preseason-wise, all of it. Thank you, my friend. We'll see you on another episode of Power Hour, I'm sure. Look for Craig on the Picks and Parlays. Every day he drops a 5-minute video with his best bets. How we doing over at Picks and Parlays? How are you doing? You crushing things?
It's been really good. I believe 7-3 the last 6 days with my best bets. Overall, I believe I'm 15-5. The last 7 days overall with all my plays. So get in out, like you said, that 5 free picks I give out every day on both at YouTube or Facebook or Twitter. Make sure you follow in on that because I do give a deal on my best bet, $25 off every day where you can get my single best bet for just $17.99. So check me out every day to get that link.
Oh, awesome. And don't forget when you're over at Picks and Parlays, you're looking for a Craig Trapp or any other premium handicappers, use that promo code NFL, save you 20% off the entire site. Craig Trapp, we'll see you on the other side. Take care, buddy.